Tonight's story begins on a frigid Moscow morning where the silence is shattered by a single deadly shot. A sniper, unseen and motionless, waits with unwavering patience as a shadowy figure walks beneath him. The scope is steady, the finger tightens on the trigger, and in an instant, everything changes forever. Aslan Usoyan, known in the criminal underworld as Ded Hasan, collapses onto the cold pavement, defeated by one bullet. This was more than just a killing. It was the sudden fracture of a criminal empire that spanned Eurasia. He had survived wars, multiple imprisonments, countless betrayals, and devastating purges that wiped out entire rival clans. Yet, on this seemingly ordinary morning, a sniper's bullet brought down one of history's most elusive crime bosses. Kings rarely die, or so the legend says, but in Moscow, the myth was shattered in a single moment. Born in Georgia in 1937, Ded Hasan's Kurdish Yazidi roots made him an outsider from the very beginning. He was neither fully Georgian nor Russian, nor connected to Moscow's old criminal elite. Ironically, this outsider status made him uniquely suited to thrive in the dangerous world of the Soviet underworld. In this shadowy realm, identity was currency, and Usoyan quickly learned how to navigate between ethnic groups, prison hierarchies, and regional clans. He was a man of patience, calm and calculating, rarely seeking the spotlight. Instead, he understood that silence and strategy were his most powerful weapons. His rise through the brutal Soviet prison system showcased his resilience and cunningness. Eventually, he earned the coveted title of Vor v zakone, the thief-in-law, a title that was more a constitution than a mere rank. Vori adhered to strict rules. They never cooperated with the authorities, avoided formal employment, and were loyal only to their brotherhood. But Ded Hasan was different. He followed the code while subtly bending its rules around him. He never openly challenged the state. Instead, he outlasted it, surviving through tactics and patience few could imitate. His reputation grew quietly but fiercely, a man respected and feared in equal measure. He was a king without a throne, ruling from the shadows, unseen but all-powerful. However, even legends are mortal, and their fall often comes unexpectedly, all the more devastating when they seem untouchable. That cold January morning, the streets of Moscow held their breath as an assassin's bullet found its mark. The shot echoed through the air, silencing a walking legend in a matter of seconds. In that instant, the entire criminal landscape shifted, power factions shattered, and new alliances formed amidst the chaos. The death of Ded Hasan marked the end of an era, a symbol of resilience, patience, and silent strength. He survived countless threats, yet was brought down by a single, precise shot from an unseen hand. His death sent shock waves through the criminal underworld, forever altering its fragile balance of power. Despite his demise, stories of Ded Hasan's cunning and resilience continue to haunt the shadowy corners of Eurasia's underbelly. His strategies, rooted in unwavering discipline and strict adherence to his code, kept him untouchable for decades. But even the most formidable can fall when circumstances align, as they did on that cold Moscow morning. His death serves as a chilling reminder that in the brutal game of power, no one is invincible for long. Legends like Ded Hasan become more than stories. They embody the unyielding truth of a world ruled by patience and silence. As the echoes of that fatal shot fade into Moscow's cold air, the criminal world begins to adapt to a new reality without its king. But the legend of Ded Hasan endures, a testament to the unbreakable power of patience and strategic silence in the shadows. He survived wars, prisons, betrayals, purges. But ultimately, a single bullet sealed his fate. Tonight's story is not just about his death, but about a lifetime spent mastering the shadows, waiting for the ultimate strike. When the Soviet Union collapsed, most criminals panicked, but Usoyan didn't. Because chaos doesn't destroy hierarchies, it reveals who can control them. He expanded quietly into oil, metals, construction, gambling, and protection rackets. His power wasn't just muscle, it was arbitration. If two criminal groups disagreed, Ded Hasan decided, and if he decided against you, you didn't appeal. You disappeared. Every empire meets its mirror. For Usoyan, it was Tariel Oniani, a younger, aggressive rival with a different vision and alliances. What followed was not a gang war, but a cold civil war inside the Russian underworld. Assassinations multiplied, bombings followed, and loyalists were hunted. Usoyan was shot once in 2010 but survived. That survival sent a message. You can hit the king, but you can't remove him. Not yet. If you're seeing these criminal power struggles as shadow geopolitics, take a second to like the video and subscribe to Behind the Veil Truths. These aren't just crime stories, they're alternate histories. By the early 2010s, Moscow knew his name, not publicly but instinctively. Business disputes resolved themselves, nightclubs paid without complaint, conflicts froze when his emissaries arrived. He didn't need to appear, his reputation arrived first. That's when a king becomes vulnerable, because once everyone knows who sits at the top, everyone knows who must fall. On January 16, 2013, Usoyan exited a restaurant in central Moscow daytime, and it was terrifying. No armored convoy, no visible panic, but across the street, a sniper waited. One shot hit his neck, another struck his guard, and the shooter vanished. No chase, no arrest, no confession, just silence. The old king was dead. Within hours, the underworld shifted. Alliances scrambled, scores settled, and territories were contested. But here's the twist. No one officially claimed responsibility. In Ded Hasan's world, credit is dangerous. His assassination wasn't just revenge, it was succession. So ask yourself, was Ded Hasan killed by rivals, former allies, or those fearing his stability more than chaos? Or did his greatest crime become his final weakness, living long enough to become indispensable? Drop your theories in the comments about who ordered the hit and whether criminal empires collapse when leaders die or change shape. And if you want the next episode, where we trace how post-Soviet crime fused with politics, money, and global finance, subscribe to Behind the Veil Truths. Because sometimes the most important assassinations don't end a story, they begin the next one.